gentlemen, I want to conclude by reiterating government's resolve to support the full recovery of the tourism industry in Uganda. On my part, and on part of my permanent secretary, I wish to call upon all stakeholders to join the efforts of revamping and creating a competitive sector. Let us all refocus our minds on the challenge of promoting inclusive growth with tourism as one of the leading contributors. I wish at this point to thank you for listening to me. May God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know the pandemic has hit us hard, but kindly let us give the PS a big round of applause. Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, amidst us, people, partners that we work with, friends of the sector who have been with us through thick and thin, and allow me to recognize a few who are here. My colleague will also recognize others. We have the Ambassador of Italy who is with us. Please let's put a round of applause and recognize him. Thank you so much. We also have the Deputy Resident Rep of the UNDP who is with us here. People, you will see her. And then we have the Executive Director of NPA, that's National Planning Authority, who happens to be with us. Please, Dr. Mvawala. Oh yes, thank you very much for coming. We have the CEO of Uganda Tourism Board, Madam Lily, she's with us here. When Lily is here and it's WTD, she's also a host. But it is also not bad to introduce the host. We also have the country director of WWF, Dr. David Dooley, who happens to be with us. Please, Dr. David, if you're around, please stand up for recognition. Oh, yes. And then we have the country director of the East African Wildlife Society, Moses Esabu, he's here. I need to have a detailed interaction with you so that I get to understand exactly what you do under this umbrella. And then we have the Director Policy at the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, and this is none other than Stephen Asimwe. We'll be even hearing from him later this morning. We have the Director of Tourism and Business Development at Uganda Wildlife Authority, Mr. Stephen Masaba. But right now, Mr. Masaba is wearing a bigger coat. He's representing the Executive Director. Thank you so much for coming, Afande. And then we have the Executive Director of Ngamba Island. Yes. Dr. Joshua Rukundo, are you, my friend, Doctor? Yes. One of the smartest CEOs we have. Great, I like you guy, you know. That's cool. So you're welcome, thank you for being with us. And then we have the Director, Open Works, that is Martin Hiller. Please, thank you so much for being with us. Someone just next to Martin, please stand up for recognition. Yes. Karatunga Tours. This gentleman, as you can see, you can think he has just come from maybe Kidepo, those ends of Maseniko and Bokora. Yes. Thank you so much, and for being cultural. Yes, we appreciate that. We have Mr. Nuanyanzi now. These are people who have supported us a lot in tourism. Mr. Nuanyanzi. Thank you so much. He's from Nakau. And then we have the Director, Education and Social Services from Kampala Capital City Authority, Juliet Namudu Nambi. Juliet has always been with us. I recall when we are doing the beautification of the streets, Juliet, we really appreciate your love for tourism. Yeah, you really demonstrated that you are in for tourism. Then we have, amidst us, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Tourism, who happens to have just made remarks, Mr. Kakula Kirome. Thank you so much for being with us. And then we have the Commissioner for Tourism Development in the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Madam Rosemary Koptaji, also Thank you so much for doing a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a number of people. I haven't introduced myself, for example, but at an appropriate time I will, because I know some people are like, who is this one introducing others, and he can't have the courtesy of introducing himself. It is understandable that you question yourselves, but I will introduce myself at an appropriate time. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let us receive the remarks from the resident representative of the UNDP. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister. As has been said, my name is Sheila Ngatia. I'm the Deputy Resident Representative of UNDP. I bring you greetings from Madame Elsie Atafua, the UNDP Resident Representative. She was to have been here, but she is attending another key event that is hosted by the government of Uganda. Today is the start of the Africa Climate Week. It is a continental, big signature event as we discuss this major issue of climate change, and Uganda is the host government, so she is there with other senior government officials. So please, you may also follow that virtually. It is on television, it is, there on social media, on different platforms. So I bring you greetings, and that is why she's not here. Honorable Martin Mugara, Minister of State for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, ably represented by the Undersecretary, the esteemed officials of the Government of Uganda, including the CEO of UTB, Ms. Lilia Jarova, the Executive Director of NPA, Dr. Joseph Muvawala, Excellency Ambassador from Italy, the other members of the Diplomatic Corps and development partners, including other UN officials, the representatives of the private sector, PSFU has been introduced, Director Asimwe, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. I think we had a lovely coffee, buffet outside, so I'm hoping that there's a little bit of energy. So on behalf of the United Nations Development Program, and indeed our larger United Nations family, I am delighted to join you today as we stand together to commemorate the United Nations, the International World Tourism Day under the theme, Tourism for Inclusive Growth. Allow me, on behalf of UNDP, to extend a vote of thanks to the government of Uganda, and in particular the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, for generously inviting UNDP to co-host this exciting e-conference today. The World Tourism Day is a unique occasion to amplify the conversation about the tourism sector's role in economic recovery and growth. It is an opportunity for a diverse range of tourism stakeholders, including the public sector, media, academia, development partners, and businesses of all sizes, to celebrate the achievements, to share best practices, and to explore how they can be more inclusive as the tourism sector rebounds here in the Pearl of Africa. Honorable Minister, before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism industry had demonstrated that it was a powerful lever to fight poverty, to promote social and economic inclusion of vulnerable groups. The tourism industry was contributing 6.2% of the country's gross domestic product and employing close to 600,000 people directly and many more indirectly. As has been said, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating social and economic impact on Uganda's economy, resulting in an additional 300,000 persons falling into poverty during this pandemic. The tourism industry has not been spared and continues to suffer enormously, with international tourist numbers down. Historically, tourism has shown a strong ability to adapt, to innovate, and to recover from adversity. But this requires new approaches and strong multi-level responses and strong partnerships. And what does this mean? It means targeted action and investment to shift towards green tourism. And with the right policies and programs and an enabling environment, tourism can once again provide decent jobs, contribute to building resilient, sustainable, gender equal, inclusive economies and societies that work for everyone. We commend the government of Uganda for the efforts to bolster the tourism industry through initiatives such as the institutionalization of a COVID-19 resilient tourism marketing strategy, which is designed to enhance market presence in key source markets and to create destination awareness in domestic, regional, and international markets. And also the initiative of the government to provide a 2-year waiver of the value-added tax imposition for upcountry hotels, among other measures. So, distinguished guests, the World Tourism Day affords us the opportunity to look beyond tourism statistics and to acknowledge that behind every statistic, behind every number, there is a person. And this is precisely the meaning and the essence of the inclusive nature of tourism. We therefore have a duty to ensure that as growth in the tourism sector returns, it is also positively impacting lives of Ugandans. Tourism was indeed Uganda's fastest growing sector before COVID, and COVID has had serious adverse socioeconomic impacts. And that means that Uganda should quickly and strategically reposition to better harness the abundant natural resources, the energetic and the youthful population, and the digital economy in order to recover. Allow me to share some initiatives that UNDP has deployed within the framework of our country program for Uganda and the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, both of which cover the 5-year period 2021 to 2025, and are supporting national efforts for socioeconomic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic and the revitalization of the tourism industry. We are supporting the development and implementation of innovative solutions that enable youth and women-owned micro, small, and medium enterprises to recover from the impact of the pandemic. The first is a facility that we set up called the Rapid Financing Facility for harnessing nature and digital technology to stimulate the recovery and build a resilient tourism industry. I know, big title, what does that mean? So UNDP has appreciated that COVID has revealed the need to rethink the competitiveness and resilience models of the tourism industry. UNDP has therefore partnered with the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, the Uganda Tourism Board, and the Uganda Wildlife Authority to implement this rapid financing facility, which is a $2 million initiative to harness nature and digital technology to stimulate recovery. The project is being piloted in the Ruwenzori Tourism Development Area to support national efforts to recover the tourism sector through development pathways that create green jobs to rebuild resilient livelihoods for youth and women. The project, as I said, is promoting recovery of the SMEs. It is supporting strategic reorientation of tourism policy towards inclusive green recovery and looking to enhance the capacities of national systems to boost the tourism industry and building an active innovation ecosystem. The project commenced through a UNDP and Uganda Tourism Board partnership with Mr. Joshua Cheptegei, the 5,000-meter and 10,000-meter celebrated world record holder and current 5,000-meter Olympic champion. And he led a team on an expedition in December 2020 to climb the Ruwenzori Mountains. The expedition aims to showcase the beauty of the Ruwenzori mountain range, promote domestic and international tourist visits to experience the mountain and the national park, to highlight the need for collective efforts to diversify Uganda's tourism product offer, to include mountain communities in the tourism value chain, while protecting natural and cultural resources, and to showcase the investment opportunities in the mountain destination, and to complement the efforts and the contributions of the government of Uganda and the private sector to build this inclusive, sustainable, resilient tourism industry. I can say that this expedition was a great achievement. And even here we have some Ugandans who trained very hard to reach the summit, Margarita Peak, which is the highest point. And among this is Ms. Lilia Jarova, the CEO of UTB. And also we're very proud as UNDP that one of our own, Lorna, also reached the Margarita Peak. I think this is a commendable effort. I don't know how many others. Who else here in this room? Maybe we need to recognize those who yes, fantastic. We have a number of others. Wonderful. Through this initiative, UNDP hopes to also contribute to rebuilding the tourism industry. Honorable Minister, we commissioned a professional video to showcase the treasure that is the Rwenzori Mountain, and we look forward to its official unveiling. And we hope that today we can get a chance to view the 3-minute version ahead of its official launch. And as Uganda participates in the forthcoming Dubai Expo, this is a great opportunity to showcase the beauty, the spectacular beauty of the Rwenzori Mountains and other videos that unveil the diversity and the beauty of Uganda to the world, and to attract more international visitors to the country. So I really hope we'll get a chance, in the program, to see this 3-minute video. As the Permanent Secretary stated a few weeks ago, the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities and UNDP, in partnership with the Toro Kingdom, launched an exciting tourism product, Echoto Hampango, a cultural festival showcasing the kingdom's rich history and cultural heritage, exhibiting innovations that emanate from the wider Rwenzori region, marketing businesses and investment opportunities in that region, and providing a platform to engage in inclusive conversations on how to integrate culture and communities in tourism ecosystem. A rich calendar of events is planned for the rest of the year, and we look forward to especially attract domestic tourists. Another very exciting initiative has to do with Rolex. Rolex, which is a signature brand of Uganda. We are partnering with the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities and the Rolex Initiative to rebuild and promote Uganda as one of the top culinary tourism destinations in the region. We are training and equipping over 500 youth food vendors with skills